allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
The four of us tonight, Paul is down with his daughter taking care of some things, so we will hope to hear from him that all is well later, but otherwise he's not going to be with us tonight. So starting with our activity reports. It's been quiet for me the last couple of weeks. The next week is going to be busy, tomorrow especially. But we had our department head meetings Monday mornings. Otherwise, that's all we had. Well, we had the Fire Department Relief Association meeting after our last council meeting. Heard from the gentleman who's handling their finances and had some vigorous discussion there about the status of the retirement accounts and how they're being managed. So, with that, that's all I have. Neil.
Well, not too busy. We had the Community Foundation Gala.
Thank you. Yes.
And everybody, council, reps were all there. The mayor was there, Tarek was there, very well represented. And I guess that sends a statement that we're committed to get the library moved and keep the ball rolling. So I'm real proud to go ahead with the library. And then I just got done with a mega public works meeting, discussing sewer and water rates, irrigation contracts, all kinds of fun stuff. That's it.
And then on the note with the library, I echo the gala, but I would also note my understanding is that they raised most, if not all, of the funds they expect the build-up to cost. So, what a fantastic turnout, and we will look forward to raising more for the furnishing and anything else that, of course, will inevitably come up. But great success thus far. Megan.
I attended the gala as well. That was great to see everybody there. It was a good time. I had an environmental board meeting. We discussed some, like, planting some pollination gardens. We're going to go over it this winter, and hopefully that'll be something we can discuss with the community and how we're going to get outreach happening in the spring. I talked about the LCCMR study funding that we went to, Tarek and I went to in the cities, because I assumed that being on the environmental board, people will be asking them about that as well. We had a park board meeting. We talked about the swimming dock and the possibility of having tree lighting in the gazebo park this year. And I believe that was about it. There was some discussion about the dog park as well and some possibility for some equipment going in there. And I think that's all I have.
Jean.
I attended the chamber board meeting last week, and that some of that is coming out tonight. We talked about tree lighting in November, and then the gala and the firemen's dinner.
Oh yes, the dinner. Have we heard yet how they did?
Andy said that they had, I asked him at lunch today, he said 839 people they served.
Yes.
Incredible.
Fantastic. He didn't have any numbers on phones or anything.
Yeah. Well, I know when I got there, the line was out the door, and we still moved through in, I think, less than 10 minutes. So,
Nice.
wine or not, it was quick moving and good eating. So,
Very good.
yes. All right, department heads, Ron.
Okay, thank you. First of all, the parks are officially closed now. However, if anybody wants to use them, they are still accessible. They will not have the restrooms open. Also, the reservations for next year, anybody can come in and do take care of that if you want. Hydrant flushing is going to be Wednesday and Thursday of this week. Like I mentioned last time, that the filter is completely online, and we are seeing very good results from that. Irrigation is complete also for the farmers and getting our ponds down, so that has been taken care of. The environmental meeting, which Megan had mentioned, we do have the contract coming forward for the garbage, and then also, like she said, the pollinators. It seems to be a kind of an interesting thing, and it seems to be some support and ideas floating around out there. So let's see, we did have the Public Works, as Neil had mentioned, water and sewer rates, and the PFAS. There's a new proposal from the PCA, which the Public Works did approve, that will be coming forward, and also still working on a chloride grant. Bolton and Macon still obviously trying to follow up on that, and we are completely moved into our new city shop, so I think the only one who hasn't toured it now would be Megan and Paul.
Yeah, I just toured it beforehand, so I'll have to set that up. I'd love to see it.
Thank you.
All right, any questions for Ron? All right, Tarek.
Well, yeah, environmental board with Megan, and we discussed also the new garbage rates. In addition to the gala, which was well attended, there's a meeting coming up this week with some of the engineering companies, or architectural companies, sorry, to kind of go over through potential plans and just kind of hear them out and hear what they have, hear their ideas. So that's going to be myself with the Friends of the Library people. We had the police and fire meeting. Sean, you were, well, actually, you weren't at that meeting, but always a lively discussion, and there's another meeting coming up, so hopefully we're getting through some of the stuff that we've been discussing for a few months. Park and tree meeting, and also there's been some interest from more than one developer on some of the city property to develop some potential housing, so we're trying to see what kind of alternatives or what kind of plans they have to determine the best option for the city. And finally, Chuck, Ron, and I, we had a call with the FAA and MnDOT on the airport capital improvement plan. So we just kind of went through planning and grants, et cetera, how that's going. So any specific details on that, I'm sure Ron or Chuck can say more about than I can. That's it.
Great. Thank you. Any questions for Tarek? All right, then our opportunity for our public forum. I know we have a number of people in the gallery here to talk to us about things that are on the agenda. 10 minutes to talk to us about anything not on the agenda if you want. Oh, I'm sure I was opening a door there with Allison, but I'm so grateful she didn't walk through it.
I was looking at you.
Oh, I have nothing.
I suspect I was an officer in the hot kind of mood tonight. Appreciate it. All right, then moving on to the adoption of our consent agenda. Includes the minutes from the meetings listed there on page 1, emailed out to us. Vouchers on page 2, totaling $308,518.53. We have the resignation and the hiring of the liquor store clerk, bill going to the MMBA meeting, the tree inspector certification, and a generous fire department donation from Valley Industries. Is there a motion to approve the consent agenda or anything anyone wants pulled?
I just want to thank Valley, and if they want a picture for promotional purposes of fire trucks, I think that's okay, and they gave us a very nice pressure washer for the fire department. With that, I'll approve the consent agenda.
All right, I have a motion by Hertzberg. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Sonia. I heard it first. Sorry, Megan.
That's okay.
All right. All those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? None? That carries.
Let me say something about the fire department too. Last week I received a donation of $500 to the fire department from a resident on Lake Coronas. They were very happy with the fire department. They had a call out there and they came in the next day and gave me a check for $500 for the fire department.
All right. That's incredible.
So, yeah, good
The
news.
new garage doors are into it.
Yes, the new garage doors
Yeah,
are great.
amazing.
Although it really highlights the poor shape of the rest of the building. Yes, they do look great. One note, I don't know that there's been a decision made, but something that was discussed at this morning's department head meeting is historically, we've always put trainings on the consent agenda, which creates kind of a paperwork headache for everyone involved. And it was discussed whether we should just take the training approval off of there and ask the department heads to just provide quarterly reports on what trainings their folks are attending, along with the status of their budget. So, if anybody has any thoughts or opposition to that, let Tarek know. But, like I said, I don't know that there was a discussion, we just chatted about it this morning briefly.
Yeah, I know, I think quarterly should work fine. I mean, I don't know what your thoughts are, Ron.
But again, I don't think we need to decide it tonight. I don't want to get into a discussion on something that's not on here, but if anybody has strong feelings one way or another, please let Tarek know. So, it just came to me, new business A, the Hubilation. We have the food shelf lady here, I'm sorry, the community center lady, to talk to us about her Hubilation event. Would you mind, I don't know if you want to stand at the podium or sit there, but at least be by a microphone?
You really need my microphone?
Well, it's so that we can capture it and broadcast it to the public.
Sure, definitely.
Well, can you grab that and hold it up there?
What do you want?
That's not
Oh, you
plugged.
want this one up here?
Yeah, you're the best.
Yeah,
I tried.
I was sitting on that, there you go.
That's why you're the best food
Is that better?
lady
The
currently.
best food shelf lady there is. So most of you know who I am. I'm Allison Jansen from the Community Service Sector. The main reason I wanted to reach out is we're already working on our jubilation for this year's season. Allison wants to fine tune a little bit this year. Last year, we had 3 that were in charge. We're gonna kind of crack it down this year and go to 1, right here. The reason we're doing this is we look at our community center is the heart of Paynesville. We want to promote that, and we want to keep everything at the community center. A, because I like to get the center out to more voices. B, it is our biggest time of the year because we're working for the community for our toy program. And C, why not? We would like to continue with the jubilation. It was a test quarter last year. It went over beautiful. We partnered up with a couple different people. It worked out really great. But the only kind of collision we've noticed is it seemed we all kind of crossed each other's toes. So I thought if I kind of hit with everybody and kind of let them know what our goals are, we could all work together. If we have a tree lighting going on, it would be great to hear the dates and times so we can coordinate together so we're not stepping on people's toes. If we're working on something else with other businesses, we would love to work with everybody on one page was our goal. This year what we're looking at is pretty much like last year, if some of you were there. We have the Grinch, we have Santa, we are going to do the horse carriage rides that have already been donated this year. We're looking at a live nativity scene that is talking about coming from the Holic. And they're going to do the carriage rides around to that. So we are looking at going a little bit bigger this year. And I just love to bring the alert to the city of kind of what the community center is doing and what our goal is. The center is really trumping up this year. We're going to drop the Toys for Tots program and go back just to a community program. The reason we are doing that is we want to keep our focus on Paynesville. It's a big program, and with income and budget cuts, the program's getting too big, so we're going to break districts down, and my focus is always on Paynesville. So that's the reason we pick the jubilation, is that the hearts grow bigger, and to me, they grow bigger at home. So our goal is going to be to keep the jubilation at the community center. Our goal this year is December 3rd. Our hours are still kind of up in the air. Like I said, anybody that wants to join in, or if you have something you want to add, you can always text me, email me, or even just stop in at the center. Because I think we could really all work together and really hold a beautiful Paynesville event. We had a little hurdles last year, but that was our first run at it. I think we could really fine-tune things this year. So I just kind of want to get on the radar of anything you would like to see brought in, or anything you think that would be too much, or anything you think you could bring to the table. I just would love to be out there so that you guys all know what the goal is.
Allison, you talked about not working with Toys for Tots anymore, so
Yes.
is the jubilation your fundraiser?
Yes. Yes, and we'll also be doing stuff the ambulance. If somebody saw that last year, we had that up at the Dairy Queen. It went over beautifully. And again, the main target of that is to keep me more homebound. When we were Toys for Tots, it was a lot of travel and overseeing. This keeps us more local and staying in Paynesville. So we'll be holding stuff the ambulance, and the jubilation will be our 2 main fund drives.
And all of that goes for the Christmas.
Christmas. Everything goes to Christmas and stays local.
I know later on our agenda we have whether or not we should set a working session, and one of the things I thought we should put on there was how the city participates and making sure that the city's officially participating in something. I know there's a lot of talk about different things going on this year, but yeah, if you need us involved,
I would love that.
let us know what we can do.
That would be amazing. So that's what I needed.
Since you're here, do you want to tell us a little bit more about what the community center does and how many people you serve, things?
And would love to. We're noticing a big turnaround at the center. It's really, really a hard year that I've noticed the most is we are no longer serving low-income families. We are trumping up to middle-class families. Our middle-class families are dropping into the low-income bracket. We're noticing a lot more of that due to state programs, the food stamps are coming up, things like that are going, where jobs and gas prices are bringing them down. So our clientele has really dropped a lot. Until this year, we're seeing a lot of new faces. We've trumped it up, doing bigger, more open to the public. Everyone in this room is welcome on the first Tuesday and the third Tuesday of the month. We service with fresh produce. We don't know how long that will go, if it'll go all season. As long as we have the funding, we'll keep feeding everybody we can feed. We've been doing it all summer. We are averaging 3,000 pounds every other Tuesday, which is huge. And what a big change that is for me, I've been at the center now 16 years. And I remember the first day it was at the community center. Now everybody comes in and says, I just left the center, you gotta get over there. They have apples, they have oranges. And which is good for that is, again, we average 4 or 5 people that come to these events and say, hey, so has a food shelf? What do you do with the food shelf? Do you feed there? Do you get, they didn't know, you have a clothing center and they'll go home and clean up their closets. They'll donate their kids' items, which we meet new faces all the time. And y'all know I never quit talking. In 16 years, this whole town should know what the community center is. They still don't. But what's just neat is I feel we are really, really growing. We aren't just a food shelf anymore. We are a community center. And it is. We now do an emergency program for housing, for bills that are getting shut off. We do the food, we do furniture, we help with overnight stays, emergencies, fire, when people have a fire, they call. It's almost anything and everything we'll try. We'll definitely try. If we can't, we reach out to others to make it happen. So I really feel the center has really grown through COVID. COVID was a positive to the center, is because we really grew. We stayed open through the whole thing until a few of us got it. Other than that, we did. We missed maybe 1 week through the whole trial of keeping everyone safe and moving things outdoor and making sure to keep everybody fed in our community. So it's been a lot of work, but we've done it. We've done really well.
Thank you, and I'm grateful that you're here. Anybody have any questions or thoughts for Allison? Right. One thing that I will just add, because it made me,
I was just gonna say, in terms of toys, do you know how many kids you're trying to, a part of the goal, the main
Yeah,
goal?
our goal is always around 200 children. 200 of our communities are goal. When I say that, the qualification is low income, and it must be in the Paynesville School District. So it does kind of go off the edges, what some here may say, she does Roscoe, Reno, Howard. Yes, because they must attend the Paynesville School. And the reason we do that also is for the double dipping, people crossing and stepping on toes. We all want to stay in our little area. But my goal is 200.
and how many families did you have for back to school, or how many kids?
I believe we finished with 180 to 188 families for back to school. And the neatest part of Paynesville is we have a small community, so we're personal. So if somebody wants SpongeBob on their backpack, they got SpongeBob on their backpack. These kids howled, they were excited to get their backpacks. It was just neat. If they wanted red or blue, or they get a pair of shoes, they get underclothing. It went over really, really well, and that is another very successful program we have also.
Thank you. Just the thought that I had is, one reason why I think as a council, we should probably pay more attention to Allison and what's going on over there, is that if the community center ever goes insolvent, it becomes our problem as a city. I'm not worried about that. I think it's got great leadership. I'm glad to have you in our
Yes.
town. Thank you for everything you do, and we will be in touch with the jubilation and all of the other stuff.
That would be great. Thank you very much for your time.
Thanks, Allison.
Thank you.
Right. And we have the chamber here talking to us about the Halloween event, which I still can't believe we're already talking about Halloween.
Well, it's kind of funny too. I was telling Allison, we go from Christmas holiday to Halloween. That's how fast it goes. So.
Yeah.
I'm Jacob Burcham, Executive Director of the Paynesville Chamber of Commerce, and Donna Ponner's with me tonight. She's the Vice President of the Chamber Board. And we would just like the council to approve our street closing. We're going to be moving the trunk or treat event to West James Street instead of East this year. So it'll go from Bank of the West corner to the Shrubs Meats corner. We did this because of the owners of Shrubs who were willing to sell food at the event, and we thought we'd get more traction with the businesses available being at that end of downtown. We plan to have the emergency vehicles, if they're able to join us for that evening, to be at the end, so if they needed to leave for that emergency or so, they can have the access to be able to leave. Other than that, we're going to have the same event like we normally do. People are willing to sign up to have hand out candy. I think we have around 10 or so cards signed up already, and a lot of them kind of registered last minute anyway. But we're trying to make sure we get them registered because we don't know how much room will be available in this spot. Any questions?
When is your registration deadline?
Registration could be the day of, I
Okay.
suppose. Yeah.
Okay. I had a costume idea, but it wasn't working out, so I'm rethinking.
I think the council would like to bring a vehicle and hand candy.
There you go.
Hey, Tarek.
They all have to be, you all have to be wearing your Halloween costumes, so.
I feel like it needs to be a group costume, so no thinking, guys.
Maybe coordinate something.
Be the mark.
Group costume plus jean.
No, I'm thinking, you know, after all of the, like, pomp and circumstance of the Queen's funeral, why don't we get, like, a House of Lords costume and regalia like that?
You just want to bust out your powdered wig.
You don't have a powder wig.
Oh, yeah.
So, all right, basically, I mean, we're looking to approve the street closing. Chief Wagner has a note on here if you talked to the bank. I'm just curious if you had done that yet, what they thought.
Yeah, we have reached out to them, and they're actually closed on Saturdays, so that wouldn't be a conflict.
All right, then with that, we're just looking for a motion to approve or deny the street closure for the trunk or treat event.
Motion to approve the temporary street closure for the trunk or treat event to close James Street West from River Street to Augusta Avenue on Saturday, October 29th, from 11:30 to 2:30 p.m.
All right, I have a motion by Soini as stated on the action sheet. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Hertzberg. All right, any further discussion? All right, it was a great event last year. I look forward to it this year. All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? None? That carries. Thank you.
Thank you.
See that?
Right, we have a mortgage satisfaction for Lloyd and Doris Lane on their 2008 mortgages through the HRA. They have paid everything off, so we're looking for a motion to approve the mortgage satisfactions.
I'll make the motion to approve the mortgage satisfaction for Lloyd and Doris Lane.
All right, I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Seconded by Brett to approve the mortgage satisfactions. Any further discussion? All in favor indicate by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? None? That carries. Right. On to page 17. Looking to approve the scheduled and planned transfer of $65,983 from the general fund to the EDAP fund. Is there a motion to approve that budgeted transfer?
I'll make the motion to approve the 2022 EDAP budgeted transfer.
Motion from Soini. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Brett. Any further discussion? All those in favor indicate by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? All right. I asked Jennifer to throw in here that we look at scheduling a working session. We were kind of front-loaded on working sessions and meetings earlier this year, and then I think we all got burned out, so we haven't had any. But with, I think, some competing interest in the city participating in winter stuff, along with also talking about some downtown revitalization. I know Megan had some ideas, I have some as well. Let's just throw everything out there and see if we can keep stuff moving forward. Thought we should probably put some dates on the calendar and discuss some of these things. Jen picked out some dates of Tuesday the 25th, Thursday the 27th, or Wednesday 2nd, or November 2nd or 3rd.
I cannot do the 25th.
No 25th, okay?
Can't do the 27th.
Can't do the 27th. How about the 3rd?
Second or third it is.
Second's not great for me. I can do it if we have to. But I prefer the 3rd.
I'm good on the third unless,
I'm good with November.
Okay? Any concerns to the 3rd from that end of the table?
Sounds good.
I just have concerns that if it gets that late into the season, if we do decide that it's acceptable for us to participate in winter activity, it's going to be tough to
that was my thought.
throw something together in that amount of time, especially if the ground's frozen. But
I was thinking the October 25th, but Neil said it couldn't.
No, I got church meetings.
Oh.
Well, 17th planning, Stearns County on the 18th. You could do the 19th of October.
That's the Thursday as well?
It's a
No, it's a
Wednesday.
Wednesday. I can't, but,
You could do the 20th, but I don't know, I can hear.
no, I can't. I've got 2 things already.
We get 3.
Yeah.
24th is council, 25th is open, 26th is police and fire, unless you don't think you have a desire to meet on the 26th for police and fire. The 31st, so 5th Monday of the month.
Halloween.
Halloween, if you'd like to meet that night.
I mean, there's not that much difference between the 31st and the 3rd, so whatever.
What if we just go back? What if we say forget about 6 o'clock? Can we look at doing something during the day? I know you said the 19th and 20th at night don't work for you, but what if we did sometime during the day on the 20th?
Yeah.
And we'd probably just meet in the conference room.
Does it work for you?
That does throw out the idea of them inviting the township, because we usually meet with them in October. And I thought, well, maybe we can do both, but we can always have them come in November.
Sure.
Yeah.
The 20th is Thursday, yeah. I can do that during the day.
So Thursday,
Are you available during the day on the 20th, Jen?
so far, yeah.
Okay.
Thursday, October 20th,
Yep.
conference room here at City Hall. Is there a desired time, like 1, 11, 2, 3,
The meetings are in the evening?
That is actually the beginning of MEA, so probably the earlier the better for
9?
those of us who are leaving town.
9 is fine.
I can do that.
8:30? No.
9 is fine for me, but I
Don't
don't,
push it here,
What
Jack.
was that, Bob?
it isn't
10?
just me.
Ron's thinking 10.
Are you asking me?
Yeah. 10's
It's
good.
fine.
Okay.
I got a morning commitment.
Okay.
10 a.m.
10 on the 20th.
All right, so we're looking for a motion to set us a working session for October 20th at 10 a.m.
I'll make the motion.
All right, I have a motion by Brick.
Second.
Seconded by Hertzberg.
Yeah, we're all pretty well retired, so, except you and me.
And I'm working from home, I don't have anything going on that day, so.
Yeah.
Jen, did you get the motion?
I did,
Okay.
Brent and Hertzberg for 10, 20, 22 at 10 o'clock. Those 4 items are the only items that I have, and of course, that agenda would have to go out this week. So, if you have me tomorrow by noon,
There was that thing we talked about this morning, but I'll let you and Tarek figure that out tomorrow if you want it to be on there or not. All right, so we have a motion to set a working session for 10:20 at 10 a.m. Any further discussion on that? All those in favor indicate by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? None? Carries. Right, that was nice, and easy. 19, our ice arena hockey agreement. Same terms, $5,500, 52 hours of indoor ice time. Tarek, I don't know if you want to talk a little bit more about how this was negotiated and what's going to be tracked.
Yeah, initially when we approached, obviously the previous agreement, is outdated and expired years ago. It was between the city and the township, and, we wanted to do something between the hockey association directly. So I approached them and we went back and forth a few times. They were looking to increase the amount, and, we decided that, well, we don't know how many residents are using this, using the ice time. So what we said was, for this coming season, let's keep the terms the same, and at the same time, they would track how many city residents use it. At the end of the season, we would decide, based on that, how we want to proceed for future agreements. So like you said, the terms of this agreement are the same as they've been in the past, but it's a one-year agreement with negotiation after the end of the season.
Is this now between the hockey association and us?
Yes,
Is it kind of red?
that's only for the indoor. The outdoor is with the township, and that's already set as
Yeah.
same as usual.
right, so with that, we're looking for a motion to approve or deny the agreement for contribution to the administrative expense at the Township Ice Arena for compensation. Yes.
I have a little more discussion. I guess I'd like to table this and put it on the work session. I just feel I want a little more information. Originally, this went back, Ron, if I'm correct. The township said they weren't interested in the airport, but they were gonna take care of the hockey rink. And all at once now we're in this $5,500 payment, which was all about the hockey people running the compost. Well, that's null and void, but we're still paying, I think, exuberant amount for what's happening, and I guess I'd like to table it and discuss it further at the work session.
Actually, at one point, we were paying more than this. We paid like 5,000 for the exchange of the compost site, and then we paid an additional 2,500 for the manager of the rink that we were paying
I
for.
think it was 7,000 at one time.
It was, so this is actually less than what we used to pay. I mean, yes, we've been paying 5,500 for the last number of years.
I'll guarantee you, last year, first they wanted to bill us for the
Yeah.
skating, and we didn't get no 52 hours of free skating last year. So if anything, we should be getting a rebate for last year. And I want to discuss this further, I'm sorry.
No, and I think that's fair. I don't
That's
have
fair.
an objection to that.
I'm not saying that we won't do this, but I want to discuss it further.
Yeah. I don't know that it's something we need to put on our working session, since we're a little more time limited usually for those. But why don't we put it on our next council meeting? And then hopefully we can get some of the answers before.
Yeah, I guess if we're gonna do that, I'd like, and I know that creates work, but our agreements going back to when we split at the airport. Because that's kind of where this started, if I recall right.
Well, the hockey arena started before the airport. Because I know when we built it, because my son was in high school, and he was the first high school team to play in that arena. And we didn't do the airport until after that. So, that I know.
Well, I thought the airport had something when
I don't
township said you have the airport, we got the hockey arena.
No, because they didn't really get, the hockey arena was built with Mighty Ducks funds to start with. And everything in the city and the township paid the difference in the hockey association.
I guess I'd like to look at how it was written when they quit the airport and how that went down.
Yeah, that's fair.
So that's,
Yeah. So let's just table this for our next council meeting, and hopefully we can get those answers before then. If not, see. Guess my only thought on tabling it is that this takes effect on the 16th. Because we sign it after the 16th, doesn't mean it's not effective as of that date.
Yeah.
All right, I'm good with that. On to the note about the municipal league meeting. And I guess, Jen, correct me if I'm maybe wrong on this or Tara, but I kind of see this as more informational since the city's not spending any money.
It is, but I just wanted everybody to know that it has been set, Jean went ahead, we are hosting it. I wanted the public to know that it'll be all at one place. You know, there is gonna be a meal served, the city is not paying for it, it's picked up, just to be transparent, I just wanted you to know also what that per plate was gonna be, so that, I know some of our council members are also officers on that, so.
Yeah, but I haven't gotten any RSVPs from anybody here.
I'm not,
I'll be there.
I'll be there.
We'll all be there.
I'll be rocking at the
Paul Felix said he'll be there.
Yeah, I was
Okay.
gonna say, I have to write the check.
I'll put you guys all down. because I need to follow up with the rest of the people that are coming tomorrow, so we can do the food stuff.
Bobby V.
He's still on, okay. All right, the airport flight school addendum. Ron, can you tell us about what's going on here?
Okay, thank you. We do have 2 pilots out there who are interested in starting a flight school out at the airport here. And by our contract, the council does need to authorize that. Bill drafted the addendum in there, and I think the main things in that is the insurance requirements, which we do have here. And I think this is a great thing for the airport. It really shows that the airport is moving along and flourishing.
Yeah, I think it's awesome. All right, any discussion on this? Any questions for Ron? Otherwise, we're looking for a motion to approve.
I so move.
All right, I have a motion by Soini, as stated on the action sheet, to approve the addendum to the Painesville Municipal Airport T hangar lease between the City of Painesville and Dan Grothy and Kyle Cooper doing business as Central Minnesota Aviation LLC. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Hertzberg.
Does this change anything with the, insurance or anything?
That is-
Sorry, I just haven't had time to go through it all the way yet. I thought I had, but,
It's identified in the addendum, yes, and they do have their insurance down to us.
they're all set.
That is taken care of.
Okay. Was there something that was already happening but just hadn't been
There is
identified?
another pilot who is operating, but just locally. This group here, they want to advertise
Okay,
beyond the Painesville Airport, so that is the reason for it, yes.
okay. But so the other pilot, that's not putting the city in any kind of issue does he need to have any kind of papers in order or?
We are following up on that also.
Okay.
It's because technically the leases say you can't operate a business out of the airport, so there should be something done if somebody's operating a business out of there. It needs to be authorized in writing by the city. It's part of the reason for this, but also to require the insurance.
Okay.
I think my understanding is just whether or not that other pilot, with what he's doing, would be classified as a business because of his unique charging structures and things like that.
Correct.
I don't know anything about it.
Yeah. All right, so we have a motion, a second, as stated on the action sheet. Is there any further discussion? All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? None? That carries. Okay, on to page 28. Our 2014A bond. Northland Securities is going to send everything out, get us all squared away. But we had discussed as part of our budgeting process for next year, doing an early call of the 2014A bond, which is $272,870 approximately, and paying that off early. What that does is it takes $45,000 annually off of our general budget, so let it freeze it up to go other places. Figured since we're being charged interest on this and not really earning interest on the money sitting in the bank, we should pay this off now since it's callable.
Yep.
Sure is a good idea.
Yep. Anything I missed on that one?
Nope.
Okay. So and with that, I think this is something we've discussed before, but we're looking to approve Resolution 2022-31, calling for the redemption of the outstanding general obligation improvement bond.
I'll make the motion to approve Resolution 2022-31, calling for the redemption of the outstanding general obligation improvement bonds, Series 2014A.
I have a motion by Soini, stated on the action sheet. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Hertzberg. Any further discussion?
Well, we're actually paying Northland Trust $750, is that correct?
That's how I read it, yeah.
For their, which is probably what it is, so,
Yeah, for those services.
yeah.
So, $750 is probably still less than what we pay in interest, but I'm good with it. All right, all those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? None? That carries. Okay. On to page 33, we have a Blandon Foundation Rural Leadership Boost Grant application previously submitted. TARC did that in order to meet the deadline, so we're looking for approval of him.
Yeah, Megan and I worked on this. We received it, well, first of all, I think we initially sent in the letter around May.
Yes.
And didn't hear from them for the longest time, and then they said, yes, we want you to move up to the second round, or we want you to apply, but they gave us a short deadline, which was the 28th of September. So we worked on finishing the application, and we submitted it, which, yeah, we met the deadline.
I didn't see any issues with the grant, not that we could do much about it anyway, but I'm good with it.
Well, fingers are crossed. Let's hope
Yeah.
we get it.
It would be awesome if we did. How much, you know?
80,000 were requested.
Is this for the shelter? Are you for?
Yeah.
Motion to approve the submittal of the Blandon Foundation Rural Leadership Boost Grant application.
I have a motion by Soini, is there a second?
I'll second.
Seconded by Brick to approve the submission of the Blandon Foundation Rural Leadership Boost Grant application. Any further discussion on that? All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? None? Carries. Okay. The Source Water Protection Competitive Grant on page 43. Ron, can you tell us a little bit about this?
Absolutely. First of all, the competitive grant is a 50/50 matching grant up to a maximum of the $10,000. The implementation grant, which we applied for previously and did receive, 6,000 of that will go onto this project. And you recall the other portion, the other 4,000 goes to our newsletter next spring and the water festival. Total cost of the generator is the $38,222. Deducting the 6,000 and 10,000 from the grants leaves 22,222, which would come out of our water CIP fund. Obviously, this is for emergency services or if power ever goes out. Obviously, that is vital to the operation, to our operation. So, I guess we would recommend that we move forward with it.
Ron, just to clarify, this is a permanent generator then versus your public works crew driving around in the storm and bouncing from well to well?
Correct. This is a permanent, would be right out at well number 8, dedicated to that well. Yes. And the first portion of it, remember the transfer switch and the concrete pad have already been installed and they are out there.
Right, so we have a couple of proposed motions. The first is to submit the Department of Health Source Water Protection competitive grant application. And the second is to approve the local match. Do I have a motion?
I'll make the motion to submit the Minnesota Department of Health Source Water Protection Competitive Grant application.
Motion by Hertzberg, is there a second?
Second.
All right, seconded by Soini, as stated on the first part of the action sheet regarding submission of the grant application. Any further discussion on that? All those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? None? That carries. Then we're looking for a motion to approve the $22,220 local match coming from the water CIP.
I'll make the motion to approve the local match of $22,220 with funds to come from the water CIP for well number 8 standby power generator.
I have a motion by Hertzberg, is there a second?
I'll second.
Seconded by Brick.
Ron's back, so.
Oh, thank you.
Just one comment, they did let us know right up front, there is about a 15-month lead time on getting the generator in. So it's a project that's not going to happen real quick.
That's fine, we're going on what, 18 for your new truck?
Yes.
All right, so we have a motion to approve the local match by Hertzberg, seconded by Brick. Any further discussion on that? All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? None? That carries. Do we even have a build date for your truck yet?
I know.
Okay. All right, moving on then to the filter rehab project. Ron?
Okay, finally, the filter is complete. Been online now for several weeks, and we are putting out a very high-quality water. Iron is either from a trace to like a 0.01, 0.02. Manganese is about the same at maybe a 0.04. The limits on that are 0.05, so we are underneath it. And Our filter runs, we have, we were down to, I think it was about 15, 16 hours. Now we are running, I think it's 25, 26 hours. So the filter is doing exactly what it's supposed to be doing. Obviously, the original contract was $169,000 with the issues that we do had. They're asking for the change order of $12,000. So the total project came in at $181,000.
Now, I can't remember if we talked about the change order before. If we did, I'm sorry, I don't remember what it
We
was.
had not.
Okay, so what is the change order? What was that?
If you recall, the first time they came in, the first cell, they got to the bottom, and the bottom of it was completely solidified. Pretty much was concrete, that they had to come back in with a jackhammer and knock out the bottom. It was almost a foot. So it was going in there with the jackhammer, and it was actually coming back a second time, and then going in there, knocking that out and removing it.
And if we just tell them, no, we're not going to pay that additional amount, we'll pay you what we contracted? Good luck.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I'm sure they didn't assume that it was concrete on the bottom.
Right,
No.
So I guess I see where they're coming from.
yeah. It was particularly problematic.
So with that, I'll make the motion to approve change order number 1 in the amount of $12,000. Final payment in the amount of $28,899.
All right, I have a motion by Hertzberg. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Soini to approve change order number 1 in the amount of $12,000 and final payment in the amount of $28,899. Any further discussion on that? All those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? None? That carries. All right, then we have our informational, starting on page 54, the garbage cart program, or our revenues there, our accounts. We have our various reports included in the packet, along with those found on the website, with the motor vehicle and building reports. With that, I would thank whoever provided us these sweet coffee mugs that are just going to go in my cabinet, but I will have any one.
It was Paul Wegner.
So thank you all.
He made them himself.
All right. So,
I got 2.
look at you.
Because he made yours twice.
What?
You made yours twice.
You're so nice, you made it twice.
You made me do.
All right, well, thank you to Paul, and with that, we are adjourned.